والسلام على رسول الله محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Good morning, my listeners, my viewers. Good afternoon, my viewers, irrespective of how the weather condition is. And good evening, my listeners, my honorable viewers. Today, inshallah, we are going to be saying something on what? On further maths. Whereas we have to talk about the art of solving this particular question using a general principle. And also, we will solve this question using a what? A first principle. And furthermore, when time goes on, if we can actually go in depth to that, we are going to see something on product rule, quotient rule, and so many more. Well, let's start with the use of general rules in solving this question. I still remember my own self as subs academic online class, Akoride Oluwayinka Hassan. So let's try and solve this expression using general principle. Why do they call it general principle? That is the main bone of contention. Why do they call this one a general principle? Note that in further math, we have what we know as function. When they say function, that means the function that is here, now we have y in respect to s squared, s cubed plus 2s squared, right? That means y is equal to all this expression. If I ask you, what is the function? What is the function? Function is denoted as f. What is the function of y here? The function of y here, it is what? It is s cubed plus what? 2s squared. Now, did you get what I mean by the function now? That's what we mean by function. Now, how do we solve? We have to find what? The y ds of this particular expression. Fine. We can see y here. We can see x here. That means we have to differentiate y in respect to x. Whatever changes that is happening here must also happen here as well. Are we together? When we have a changes here, it must also affect it. That is why we call it what? The y ds. Hope I'm communicating. Now, in nutshell, how did they get the general principle? And what makes it to be a general principle is as a result of this general principle. It involves the inducement of the use of formula. We need to use formula in solving that. The formula goes as, when we are finding the y ds, when we are finding the y ds using general principle, general principle, this one is very easy to solve. When we are solving that using general, this is a question. You have to solve it using general principle. What should come to your mind is that you have to differentiate this. First, you differentiate this as well. You differentiate them in what? In separate case. When we're actually doing that, you find what is the coefficient that is there. When I say coefficient, I mean what is the value that is standing at this point of this variable. The value that is standing here is 1, right? What is the power that this variable is carrying? It is 3. What is the value that this is having? The coefficient here is 2, and the power is what? 2. We will now differentiate it differently. Using what formula? Using ax, I'll tell you what a is. Ax n minus 1. This is the formula used in solving what? Solving a general principle. This is the formula used. How do they get this formula? Know that the a is standing for the coefficient that is here on this variable. The s is this variable on its own. While the n that is here is the power that the variable is carrying, which is 3. If you are differentiating in respect to this, the same thing. A should be 2 here. A will be 2 here as the coefficient of the x here. And the n will be 2. Hope I'm communicating. Are we together? Now, we can now use this formula to solve this, and you get your answer. Hope I'm communicating. So if we are actually using this formula to solve this, we'll get our answer to be, let's try and do that. The y, I told you we are having y here, we are having x here. So we will now say the differentiation of y, the s, the y ds equals to, what is this? This is s cubed.
Are we together? Now let's make use of this general principle to solve that. So the question might ask you, solve this particular expression using what? A general principle. This is the formula. Just cram the formula and you are good to go. The question might ask, solve this question using first principle. We are still coming on the what? On the what? First principle, inshallah. Now, this will now be what? Note, our head will be this one. And note that the coefficient that is there is what? It is 1. 1 that you can't see. But you know that it is invisible 1. But you know that what is actually standing here is 1. Are we? Then bring this, bring it back. Well, actually, when you are doing that, I haven't had this particular general principle. When you are doing that, bring this end, bring it to this. It will be A. That is it. It will be A. N will come and mean this. It will now be A times N, S, then N minus 1. So when you are using this general principle, you have to make the power that is here, which is N. You come and multiply it with the coefficient that is there. That is what I do here. It will now be what? A N X N minus 1.